you get one person you can just, make a friend, because there's something you want to learn from that person. And the interest is also another thing. If you don't have interest for French, you can never learn it. So you must have interest. Like now, okay, let me say this. I did some project in India for 2 years. And when I was in India, Hindu is very difficult. Okay? But I had that desire. I wanted to understand what Hindu is. So I befriended another guy. And he was telling me sometimes I said the way you're saying broken. Then he corrects me. And then next time, so I'm very not to make the same mistake. So I continued learning until I could speak like the whole of India. Yeah. And the way I was doing it was very for me because now, I was speaking their language. When you speak the language of the people where you are going to, they feel good. They want to know this person is a foreigner. How come we speak this language? So the most important thing is that you need to create a very good atmosphere within yourself, and you make a friend so that one can teach you. And then another thing, I used also to do some. I used to go for tuitions, in the evening, slowly. This is what it means. What? This is what it means. Like now, let me tell you. You see, I'm not a Kikuyu, but I speak the whole of Kikuyu. Some people say I'm a Kikuyu, and I'm not a Kikuyu. Although my wife is a cook, but I speak Kikuyu very well. Okay? It's because of interest. So, again, like now in Germany, you can't go to Germany if you don't speak French, do you? Yeah. Or, you have to learn it. Yeah, you have to learn it so it will be easy for you to communicate. Okay? So the thing is first of all, you must have passion that you want to know that language. And the language precedes culture. Once you have the language, then it's very easy for you to communicate. Thank you.
Just briefly, I know that I went to an international school, New York University, and we had people from all over the world that was coming for academia, coming to learn. And the marvelous thing was that we were able to learn from each other, whatever it may be. And of course, the common language was English, but the cultures we learned from others that came from literally all over the world. And that's the beautiful thing. But certainly, Simon has put together a wonderful program where he's opening up avenues for the African continent to the extent that if we can communicate better amongst ourselves on one continent, that's a marvelous thing. Now, in terms of some have more of a propensity of learning another language than others, and it takes me a long time, and I might even write things and put them on my wall, and I'll still forget. It could have to do with us being of a certain age, I don't know. But anyway, the good thing is that you make the attempt, like the gentleman who said on the dais here, and it's a marvelous thing to appreciate and to respect another culture and another language.
Okay, so I'm hearing a lot about learning. You can hear me?
He has a question here, please.
Oh, you have a question? Okay. Last question.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for your time. We appreciate it. My question goes to Mr. Albert. It's more around on the culture. I know you've said that when you go to a place, a new place, it's all about your objectives. You have to know your true north. But I was just wondering, if you find yourself in a situation where the culture, the beliefs, the norms is totally not aligned with what you believe or what you've grown up to know, and it's either their way or the highway, how do you handle such a situation?
have one. Because remember, as adults, as we are growing, as we are socialized with certain beliefs and value systems that are deeply ingrained in us. So if I may just give an example, like Kenya is a heavily Christian society. So you can imagine an individual who maybe is in 30 years old in Kenya is going to a country where there are atheists, okay? And maybe he or she is there for 4 or 5 years in that setup. You can imagine, it's traumatic. Having said that, I always go back and say, remember why you're there. Remember why you're there. And why did you choose that place in the first place? Okay, there must be a reason why. You knew you should have known that in that context, they are atheists. Okay? And the fact that they're atheists, then how best would you navigate or move around or walk around it? You do not necessarily have to aspect their beliefs or value systems, but how do you then navigate that? Because at the end of the day, you need to interact with them. You can't be by yourself. So my challenge would be figuring out why you go into that society, and number two, now that you're there, you need to figure out how best to navigate and work around it. That is, deal with them as you also attain your goals and objective. Those are my thoughts in line with what you said.
Yeah. I think another thing is that you need to respect another culture. I think we talked about that. When you respect another culture, it becomes very easy for you to relate with one another. You see, like now, they are Christians, they are Muslims. You see people, and it's a very wrong narrative when we say that all Muslims are people who do vote or this kind of thing. No, not all Muslims are bad. There are Muslims who are good, there are Muslims who are bad. And even in other cultures, there are people who are good and there are people who are bad. So it is you to be sensitive, and but then again, you need to respect that culture so that you can cope up with them. Because if you don't respect them, you see now, if you don't respect the Muslim, it's very hard. You say, these are Muslims. So of course, we are Christians. We are so superior. No, that kind of a thing. No. We need to respect each other and respect what you believe and respect what I believe. So now we can continue together and even doing many things together because of that.
So back to you. I know the questions, we'll ask them in the other sessions. I'm hearing a lot of learning, relearning, and unlearning. So as you're here giving us this motivation on how we are going to start our expo, how can we use culture, how can we use language to embrace each other and to remove the African victim mentality that, we were colonized, these people did this to us, we can't do this, it's their fault, we need reparations, and what if they don't come? Yeah? So how can we use forums like this? How can we, as we are starting, how can we set our goals moving forward for the next 3 days that we're going to be here interacting with each other?
That's a good question, Sharon. It's going to be a part of my presentation in a few minutes or so. But I believe that you have to believe in yourself more than anything. You have to believe in yourself. The other thing is be, in whatever you do, be the best at it. So that there's no one else that can compete. Well, they can compete with you, but you know what you know because you've studied and you've reached the pinnacle of your career and reached the pinnacle of your knowledge in the field that you're in. And then with that, people will respect you. But you will always respect yourself, and you'll be able to overcome other people's indifferences, other people's bad feelings about you, because you believe in yourself that much.
Another thing I want to say about this is that, you must change for things to change. Don't expect change when you have not changed. Are we together? Yeah, we have to change for change to come. That's number one. Number two, we must avoid excellence. You know, excellence is not doing the best, but it's doing the best. Okay? Number three, we must have what we call a positive attitude and remain focused in whatever you are doing and have that confidence that whatever I'm doing is the right thing and I'm going in the right direction. Thank you.
From what I would say is have an open mind and an open heart. And having an open mind and an open heart translates to being willing to learn, being willing to receive criticism to improve yourself, and also being able to live and coexist with people of different characters, personalities, and also from different social contexts. Because like I always say, we don't live in a utopian world, we live in the real world. And in the real world, people are not the same, people will annoy you, people will irritate you, and the idea is just to figure out how to handle, different people with their different personality types. Yeah, thank you.
Maybe something else I would add is that, there's something I talked about, maybe forgiveness. Okay? When you ignore anything that has really affected you, but you ignore it, it's a sign that you are a very intelligent person. Because you don't want it, you have just ignored it. It's not important, it doesn't need to affect you. You are a very intelligent person. So it is important, as he has said, that we need to forgive one another, because people are not going to behave the same way you want them to behave. Even your wife, you are married in a house, and you are staying in the same house, she is still different, you still differ. But do you differ and tell her, walk out and go? No. You need to accommodate her, because I always tell people like this, family is not about bloodline. Family is not about bloodline. But family is about who holds your hand when you are in it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. A lot of insights there. I've learned a lot. And as we are closing this session for now, I want you to think back to a point where you had to learn something new. You had to unlearn something that you knew that came from your culture, but in another culture it was wrong, or it was applied in a different context. And what you had to relearn, you had it, you knew it, but you had forgotten it. Now you had to relearn it. So as we are going for tea, I want us to give our guests a round of applause. Around 10 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back for the next session. Okay, thank you so much for engaging with us. I hope we will learn more. Make a friend. Don't drink tea alone. Learn a different culture. Learn a different language. Okay, thank you.
that you're going to make you concentrate. Bonjour. Bonjour. Okay, bonjour. Which one is normally the next one? Bonjour, then you say what? Comment ça va? Comment allez-vous? C'est pas comment ça va. That's what she has told me. Thank you. So I go by the name that we want to do 1, 2, 3 things before we proceed in our next session. So, how I wish that you all concentrate here. Na kuanga mwalimu by the way, na huwa napenda kuambia watoto keep quiet. I need a translator. I'm normally a teacher and I like telling kids keep quiet. So, you're not kids. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for keeping quiet. I think I'm the only one here who speaks almost 18 languages. Yeah, 18 of them. Who can speak more than that here? You see, I'm a legend in the making. Because I can speak Luya, Luya has 14, eh? Sosa, Kuna Maragoli, Kuna Samia. You see all those, I can speak all of them. In where I come from, we normally greet people who can greet me in Luya. My friend, you look like one, but you are not one, right? Yeah, thank you. So, I want to teach you a greeting. Can you tell your neighbor again? Not Oreo. Oreo is biscuit, not Oreo. Say Oreo. Yeah, that's how, when you go to my village, that's how you're greeting people. Now, when you say Bushia, right now you say Bushia. Bushia is in the morning. Now, I want to know how people from, you said you are from yes? Comoros. Yes. The Comoros Island. My father was born there. That's what he has been telling us all along. So, don't know. So how do you greet people there in the morning? Yes? Oh, Barizasubui. And how is he supposed to respond? Barizasubui. You say salam. And again you say jambo. Say, tell me jambo. Oh, you're also from Comoros? Yes. Anyone from Nigeria? You see, my sister comes from Nigeria. You look like what? So, all of these are Comoros Island.
Yes.
Comoros Island.
Yes.
Kenya things are big. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to teach you a dance. Now, this thing is becoming hard for me. But the person who employed me here, you see, I have to speak English all alone. English, my teacher of English now, him and English, they are not neighbors. So, the same thing with me. So put your books aside. You are taking me back to class, telling people to put mathematics books away. It's time for English. Stand. That's what you can hear. Put your phones away. Can you hear me? Oh, anyway. Do this. And this. Here. Here. Now, Pastor. You see our hands are crossed like this. Thank you. Now, because of our very good pastor here, let us try again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many signs are those? Well, you are not counting. You people, you don't tell me that you come from, you also went to Moses Mudavadi Primary. You see, Moses Mudavadi Primary School is a very rural school in where I come from, Shakahoho in Kakamega. Not Shakahoho. You see, Shakahoho is where people die. But Shamahoho is where now people are standing, people are seated. Now you friends of mine from Comoros, you know. Okay. We said that we have 10 slides, right?
Yeah.
Can you remember them? Yes. Okay, 1. The second one. The third one. The fourth one. 5th. 6th. 7. 8. 9. 10. Give yourself a clap. That friend of mine, we come from the same village. But if he has not told you, we worked in the fields of maize plantation. How many years? Yes? Mosquito. Mosquito. You people, you are playing with me here, lying to me that you're okay. But anyway, it's fine. It's fine. You know, you have to keep fit. Like me, you see, I used to be 99 kilograms during the COVID time. But now,
how many are you now?
I'm 102. That's a great improvement. You okay? So we're just waiting for the DJ to do his thing. After go to, then we proceed with our. But then you're learning the sessions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we really learned a lot. One, you have to change so that change comes to you. So I also have to change. But I know how to speak French. 2 French languages. Words. Bonjour and the other one, I want to say. Comment allez-vous? Wow. Comment allez-vous? What does that mean? Comment allez-vous? So that when I go back home, I tell my son, comment allez-vous? You know that I have been in a French conference. I get in the house and tell people, comment allez-vous everyone here? You allez-vous everything. There we go. Thank you, DJ. Alright? So I have to put this one away so that we do a little bit of dancing. Senior, thank you. Are you ready? Yeah? How about you? You have to pump it up. Put a smile on your face. Let's go. Sauti. And 1, 2, 3, let's go. Upper. And here, dance. Upper. And 1, 2, 3, and dance. Upper. That's good. DJ, push me up. Wait a minute. Now, people are doing their own things. You're supposed to. Now, when you're turning, you continue with the same style. You win now. You understand? We. Okay, let's start one more time. And then we proceed. Because now you're going to be standing for so long and now. I don't want you to start saying now that man who thinks that we want to stand like him. Sorry. This man from Sarin Center, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'll give you my check. You know, you have to. We are behind schedule. Sauti, hey, that one is better. Thank you, thank you. Aya, we will proceed. Aya, up on. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Put a smile on your face. And just keep go. I mean, and 1, 2, 3, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, and turn. Ugu, ugu, hapo, hapa, 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 and 1, 2, 3, and turn. Ugu, hapo, nice, nice, hey, let's go, 1, 2, 3, and turn. Hapa, let's go, tu kwa nini jini wake, wake tukia free. This side. Thank you. Hey. Well, people are already sweating. I'm swearing. Kuna kuana air conditioner hapa ndani. Do you have a mobile phone? Not mobile phone. How do you call this propeller? This thing? Fan. People are swearing. Thank you so much. We'll meet in the next break. So right now, let me welcome the one and the only lady. You see the way she is walking like Angel Gabriel. Passing around. In my interview, you're passing around. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, a hand of applause for DJ Wakula. Welcome to our second session. Before we start, before I call the panelists, I'd like to have us a few noms. I'm waiting for the other DJ on the computer to do his thing. Okay, so as we are waiting for them, one of the notes that was number 1, keep your phone on silent.
Vous allez un peu garder silence.
Learn. Number 2.
Apprendre.
Make a friend.
Faire un ami.
And network.
Et le travail, network.
So our notes are number 1. Switch off. Not switch off. You might have an important call. Keep your phone on silent.
Vous pouvez garder votre téléphone en mode silencieux.
Number 2, make a friend.
Numéro 2, faites un ami.
Number 3, learn.
Numéro 3, apprenez.
And number 4,
Numéro 4,
from the audience,
network.
network. Make sure you go with contacts. Come on, like our professor told us, is in the real estate. If you want any piece of land, a piece of house, anything, make sure you go with this contact. So all of us are here, we're offering something and we all need something. So make sure you network and get contacts. So our second session is going to be very, very interactive and we are going to learn a lot. So we have Mr. Carlos Okello, the CEO of Ogulo Group, A round of applause for Mr. Carlos. Okay, so he'll be taking us through Mr. Carlos, s'il vous plaît. Okay. So he's going to tell us about building a united Africa through business official working language. And then
sur construire l'unité africaine. L'unité d'Afrique sur des affaires.
oui, à propos de la langue.
Ok, aussi de langue aussi.
Okay. So on va voir. We will have, sorry, I am bilingual. And when he speaks French, I start speaking French. And then when he speaks English, I start speaking English. Wow. So I think we'll interact, we are learning languages, yeah? So we have Professor Nobla Osusu from Kenya. He's going to take us through the role of business network transformation in French and English-speaking countries. A round of applause for Monsieur Nobla Osusu. And then we have Mademoiselle Mula Mulu. Welcome. He's a commercial lawyer, a senior partner at Mulu and Abuja Advocates. So he's going to take us through investment in Africa by fellow Africans, and he's going to tell us about the legal intricacies. Ain't you proud to have someone like I know with? Let's give a round of applause. And then we have Monsieur, sorry, go.
Okay, we have Mr.
Tu peux dire français, non? Ok. Oui, c'est good.
Okay, I will.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, then we have Monsieur Obina Nwanko,
We have Mr. Obila Mwanko,
Business Development and Sales Manager,
affaires sur le développement du business et du management,
Agula Group from Nigeria.
les du Nigeria.
So it's going to take us through. So he's going to take us through building transformation business networks with West African countries.
Il va nous parler sur les affaires de business avec l'Afrique de l'Est.
L'Afrique de l'Est, surtout. And so our panel is full and we want to learn from you. So I don't know where to start from. Should we start from home or away? What would that be? Home or away? Home. Home. So I want us to start with, I am going to be very biased at this. Mademoiselle Mula. So we can have you, you can talk to us. If you need to do a presentation, it's okay, you can have the podium. Please be free, we are willing to learn, we are here to listen, you're the expert in your story. So, welcome. Thank you.
Madame Boula, si vous voulez faire une introduction sur ce débat, vous pouvez la faire.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good morning, actually. All right, it's a pleasure to address you. As you heard, my name is Mula. I am a commercial lawyer and also the senior partner at Advocates, which is a commercial law firm, a business law firm based here in Nairobi. And I'll probably also introduce my colleague, Jared. Alright, so I really don't have a structured presentation, but as you've heard, we're talking about investing in Africa by Africans, and particularly why I'm speaking on this is because as a law firm, within the law firm, we do deal with a lot of international businesses that are setting up in Kenya, and not just Kenya, but also in other East African countries, and also in other African countries, and abroad, okay? So when I say abroad in this context, I mean outside Africa. All right. So which then again means that we get to deal with the intricacies. The Indians, we more or less like have, you know, we have the practicalities really of setting up businesses within, you know, African countries by Africans and by non-Africans. And I think it's very important for anybody looking at investing in Africa or in a foreign country to more or less have some tips that can help them set up successfully. Because I think a lot of Africans who are coming, let me have a bias actually towards Kenya and Nairobi because we're here. So I'll probably, my context will probably be a whole lot based on people, foreigners coming to invest here in Kenya. Pardon me if I say foreigners, they include other African countries. Don't feel like you're not part of us. Of course, as you know us, our policy right now in Kenya is that we are home to all Africans, okay? So if I say foreigners, don't feel left out. We still stand by our policy, all right? So let's take it up from, so how does that look like? You come, say, from Nigeria, you come from DRC, you come from wherever, and you're looking to more or less see what you can set up here, maybe expand your own business, just start a new business here. What are the pitfalls? What makes a lot of businesses not to succeed? What makes businesses succeed as well and kick and expand? So very, very small things that people tend to overlook. When you come in, at first, of course, you're coming in to prospect and things like those ones. So I'm assuming you've taken a business visa or an ETA or a tourist visa to come into the country. You come into expos like this, speak to people, go to networking forums, get to meet people who are doing various things that you can now collaborate in and you're thinking, okay, this is something I can get into. So how do you plug into that relationship to actually come in and set? So I think the first thing that you should look at when you're going to any foreign country is what is the business environment for that particular country. Legally, I'm going to also have a lot of bias on the legal environment because that's my background. So legally, you should also more or less like understand what it is that you need as a foreigner to set up your business successfully there. Because I don't know, I'm assuming some of us have been living in Kenya, foreigners, and well, if you talk to a lot of them, they will talk about being arrested, police brutality, and you sort of like are having a very hard time settling in. So what makes it hard for you to settle in? Is it that you've not really laid the groundwork for you to actually get in and set up something serious? Is it that you realize like just come in and thought that you can just get by? You know, because we have a lot of people who come in on visas, right? And you want to just keep, trying to extend it here and there when you come in and it's expired and you can't even get out of your house because you're really like not sure if you'll come back in if you get out of their house. But how do you get a business set up if you can't get out of your house because of fear, isn't it? So I think after prospecting, one of the things that you can do is to look at, first of all, look at what status, how do you regularize your status in whichever country that you've gone into, okay? Of course, you can't get in and start applying for work permits, special passes and stuff like that if you haven't established your business or even discovered what you want to do. But once you've prospected and you know exactly what you want to establish and you want to establish, first is to ensure that your status allows you to actually live and work in that country, because that's very important. That's the only way you're going to move freely within the country, meet people, meet, banks, meet employers. Let's even assume you're looking to, get employment and stuff like that. So how do you get an employer to actually give you the job if you don't have the status, right? So there are very many ways of, a couple of ways. Of course, the ultimate is the work permit, which is obviously a little bit expensive and all that, but then I think there are also other transitional documents that can help you to get started with work formally without any fear, right? As you wait for that time when you're able to maybe get a work permit or get a confirmation from your employer. So here in Kenya, we have the special passes, and which are more or less like preliminary temporary work permits, and they'll take you, say, for 3-6 months or something as you get your footing. If you're looking to set up a company, same thing. If you're looking to invest, same thing. The investment permits, of course, will cost you a bit. But then if you just start small with, say, setting up your company, taking up a social bus on the basis of your own company, moving it free, because that will assist you, like here in Kenya, to maybe get things that you need, like KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority, bank accounts, things like those, because you literally cannot expand your business if you're banking through your friend, okay? Because that's what I've seen a lot of people come, and I think one of them I have interacted with came in and they were living in some Airbnb, okay? And because they couldn't, I mean, even small things like registering your M-Pesa or your Safaricom line with your caretaker's details, right? I mean, you literally cannot set up business or establish yourself if you're not properly set up, because sometimes then you also meet a lot of people who are out to con you, all right? But if you're properly set up, then you don't have to go through those corners. Of course, there's that time when you're still looking to establish yourself and you survive on visas and voter extensions here and there. But the moment you decided now you want to invest, for you to protect your investment, you have to invest in it. All right. Then again, then you look at what setup do you want? What are you looking to do? What permits are required? Start small, put in the permits in place, put in your business registrations in place, put up your house in order before you get started, because there are so many small regulatory challenges that can throw you off the road, and maybe you've also put in a lot of investment at that point, but because you've missed this one thing or two things here and there, you find your bank accounts are getting frozen, your business is being shut because you've not complied with certain regulations here and there. And maybe at that point I would also talk about, so what is the entry point, what is the safest entry point into any foreign country for you to set up an investment. From the businesses that we've interacted with, I would say one of the safest entry points would be your embassy, okay? And in that aspect, we actually as a firm, we do work with various embassies, because I'm not so sure about the African embassies, but at least I know for foreign embassies, they're very keen on identifying opportunities for their nationalities and also helping them set up by connecting them with the right people. So I really don't know much about the African embassies because I don't see them coming out that strongly. But maybe it's also the high time that we lobbied our own embassies to also be very proactive in those matters business, okay? So if you're able to come in through your embassy, then I think that is a safe point, because most of the embassies with commercial attaches and those positions also do have links to legit business investment opportunities in the country, all right? Another very safe entry would be through a lawyer, okay? Because then if you go through a business lawyer, obviously they'll be able to guide you through everything that you need to know for you to set up. And let's assume you're in real estate, for example. The last thing you want to get into a foreign country and start doing is real estate. Because do you want to take the risk to land? Because land is usually, how should I say, I think it's the biggest risk you can take in any country. So if you're getting in to set up, say, real estate, if you get into that country, then you just don't go buying land, and start pouring in your millions of investment into that property. But if you're having the right people, then you start with, they can guide you into due diligence, more or less like you're sure. Let's even leave land alone. Let's assume you're putting an investment into a company, for example. How do you get to understand the risk exposure? How do you get to understand the history of that company? And so to speak, how exposed you are? How do you even get to understand the background of the co-director you're investing in? So due diligence is usually very important when you're getting into these kind of things. I see a lot of people who come here, and because you don't want to go through the whole immigration paperwork and all that, for men especially, You just get a girlfriend and you start buying houses through them. We have a lot of cases like that when, you know, and remember that it's the same girlfriends. I'm not trying to say that we are bad as Kenyans, okay? But if you ever meet with an immigration officer asking to deport, you first call your girlfriend and find out if she's behind that, okay? So don't come in and invest through your girlfriends unless you really trust them. So, which then ideally means that you should try and set yourself up properly so that you don't have to cut those corners and then, because honestly I'll tell you, even when it gets to the litigation aspect of it, every man that has invested in real estate and bought homes through their girlfriends has walked back without land. Yes. Alright, so we need to be cognizant about that. And also we do have government agencies here in Kenya. For example, we have Keninvest, we have Kenya National Chamber of Commerce. We have chambers that are more or less like established for the sole purpose of connecting investors to investment opportunities here. So you're more or less, if you go through those kind of forums, then you probably would be safe in investment. And then I think the rest of whatever you do after you're properly set up and you're actually quite sure of the investment that you're getting is more or less, it's more or less normal business commerce as you do everywhere else. But then again, if you're getting into a foreign country, and we see it a lot here, is that because now we're also dealing with languages, so if you don't speak the language, then there's a likelihood that you'll get a rodeo somewhere, or you'll get duped somewhere. And it happens a lot. Like, for example, I did some time back, do you have any Congolese? You did a lot in gold. Okay, gold is good, but it's also a risky business. All right, so at that particular point I was calling, one of the investors was coming in from Russia, and he had met two gentlemen locally here, one Kenyan, one Congolese, and they said, okay, so he was interested in buying gold, and they said, we're dealers in gold, and what we can do is we can get into a company with you. We will be your local partners, okay? If you hear local partners, start calling your lawyer. Anyway, we'll be your local partners, so what we're going to do is you don't need to keep coming here. We're going to be the one sourcing for the product. When you get the product, we give you a call, you just send in the money. We are, of course, co-directors, so we're operating the bank accounts together. So when he sends in the money to the bank, then they were supposed to take the money, pay for the product, put the product in the bank safe, and then he would come, say, once every 3 months or once every 6 months to collect. But then ideally when he came into the country, he was a bit cautious, good for him. So he called me into the meeting, and I got in and saw the meeting where they were discussing the partnership. Remember, he doesn't understand the local language, so I'm sitting in that meeting, and these two gentlemen are actually just openly talking about how they're going to dupe you. But they're sitting in the same meeting. So, more or less like talking about, bringing, of course, there are no arrangements, checks and balances here and there, so when they talk about, we just get, fake nuggets, come and put them in the bank. Nobody in the bank knows what gold is. I mean, anything that looks like gold, you think it's gold, isn't it? And then, of course, call for the money here and there. But then the good thing is he was able to seek that counsel as to how should this transaction look like if I were to be protected. Again, I think sometimes we look at deals and you think, okay, the deal is so good, and then you just run into it with the whole thrill of, it's a good deal, and you're thinking of how much you're going to make, and you're forgetting very important, you're forgetting that due diligence is actually very important. So in a nutshell, that is what I would say is more or less the surface level information as to what you'll be looking at when you're investing in any foreign country, be it Africa, be it outside Africa. All right, and I guess I'll end my presentation at that point, and if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them in the Q&A session.
Thank you very much. So now that you've learned about, you talked to us about the legal intricacies, let's go to Monsieur Obina. You are a business development and sales manager. So can you talk to us about building transformation business networks with West African countries?
I was opportune to learn a little bit of French while I was in school, but coming to Kenya, we tried to understand another language, which is Kiswahili, and I've been battling with that for some period of time. Anyway, yeah, my name is Obina from Nigeria. It's looking at my name, yeah, that's So I was speaking on building transformation business network with West African countries. How many West African countries? Everybody represents West Africa? Yeah, West Africa. Okay, yeah, if you permit me to say hello to my brothers, we are from West Africa, but doesn't mean that every other African part is not my brothers and sisters also. So, I'm Obina Wanko, like I said, a business development manager and sales for our global consulting group, and it's a pleasure to stand in front of you in order to give my take on the building transformation business network with West Africa. But my case study will be in Nigeria, where I come from, where I understand better. So, Nigeria is one of the largest economies in Africa, presents a wealth of opportunity for every African who is looking to expand their reach and impact in the region of West Africa. For those of most of us that are here in East Africa, there are a couple of Kenyans that are met, and when you speak to them about traveling, they have this, I don't know if it's phobia or just don't like going to West Africa. Sometimes when I tell some Kenyans that, do you know a country called Benin Republic? It's like, it's a country or a state in Nigeria. Yeah, that is a country, and the way it is for East Africa community, that's the way it is for West African community. So, I was discussing not just about theory, it's about practical strategy, tangible outcomes, and real-world impact that such network can have on business and economy. Nigeria is one of the largest economies in Africa at the use of last data. We are third after South Africa and Egypt. Stand as a beacon of opportunity for business looking to expand their footprint in the region. However, navigating the complexity of Nigeria market requires more than just ambition. It requires strategic partnerships, collaborative effort, and deep understanding of the local landscape. Just like the lawyer said, if you come into a new country, you need to understand how things are done locally. One of the key benefits of building a business network in Nigeria and West Africa is the opportunity for knowledge sharing and collaboration. By connecting with local business and entrepreneurs, international companies can gain valuable insights in the market, cultural nuance, and regulatory environment. This knowledge exchange can lead to innovative solutions, new business models, and enhanced competitiveness. We all understand that when two or more companies come together, for instance, let's say if I'm in Nigeria and I came to this event from Nigeria, and there is someone that's looking at investing in Nigeria, it's easy for us to have that collaborative because, like she said, a partnership that was supposed to be built between Kenya, Congolese, and Russia. But the bad side of it is the fact that those ones were not genuine with their intention. imagine the engineering, and that is a very good business collaboration between an African and an Eastern European. A transformative business network can also serve as a platform for joint venture and partnership. By pooling resources and expertise, business can tackle large projects, enter new market and access customer segments. You know, like for instance, we have this MTN and Visa. Prior to this collaboration, there was no mobile money, unlike here in Kenya or some other African countries. We really don't have mobile money. So with the partnership between MTN and Nigeria and Visa, it allows people to have access to mobile money. I know mobile money is like, it's not like anything here in Kenya, but for us, it's like innovation. So this happens because of the collaboration between MTN Nigeria and Visa. And furthermore, a robust business network can help businesses navigate the challenges of doing business in Nigeria, such as infrastructure deficit, bureaucratic bottleneck, and security concern. Everybody, like I don't want to bastardize my country, but yeah, it is obviously on the news. There's always that bureaucracy in terms of you trying to do business. I don't think it's an African thing. There's always obviously on the news. There's always that bureaucracy in terms of you trying to do business. I don't think it's an African thing. There is always that concern about, okay, someone wants to take kickback in order for you to do business. I remember there was this big chain of supermarkets known as ShopRite. They had their challenges, but due to a kickback here and there, they were able to stay and does not allow any other big supermarket to work. Unlike Kenya, here we have Naivas, we have Quickmart, we have Carrefour, and we have some others. But yeah, we have ShopRite from South Africa, being one of the biggest. The other ones are just local from people. So, and we also have our security concern. I believe everybody knows about the challenges when it comes to the security architecture around the country, talking about the Boko Haram north, the guys in the south trying to secede the country, you know. So we have all that. For how do you mitigate this? It is by collaboration. You know, you don't know these places, you don't know your way around. But when you have someone on the ground, it's easy for you to do it. Tell me more about this. Tell me more about that, and you'll be able to maneuver your way around it. So leveraging on the collective strength of the network, business can mitigate this risk and address challenges, seize opportunities that might otherwise be out of reach. In addition to collaboration and partnership, inclusivity is also a critical sector in building a transformative business network. The network should be open to business of all sizes and industry, ensuring that representatives of this diverse business landscape in Nigeria and West Africa. This inclusivity fosters diversity of thoughts, innovation, creativity, driving the growth of development of the entire region. A prime example of this inclusivity is the African Continental Free Trade Area. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that. That was launched, I think, sometime last year, where every African trying to come together, having to build a cross-border trade between Africans. So this aim to create a market, a single market for goods and services, where it is easy for me to move my goods from Nigeria or East Africa, where I am, to Comoros, where they come from. You know, there is always a barrier, and one of the reasons why also fintech is thriving in Africa a lot is because there is so much challenge when it comes to payment system. We find it hard for me to just even do business. I have to first convert naira to dollar or any other foreign currency before I move into Kenya shilling. It has no major reach. So that's why this organization allows you, they're trying to create something that allows you to boycott or bypass all those long systems where I can just use naira to buy anything in Kenya shilling. It's just a trade. in between. And I believe that's the reason why we are having this new organization known as BRICS to move away from the petrodollar and go into another sort of currency that allows them to do business within themselves without going through the dollar. So Africa also allows to create jobs. If there is a company from, let's say, from North Africa, Morocco for instance, and it comes to Kenya, first of all, with what the lawyer said, you are, the business thing is you're creating a business and creating jobs also for people that live here. So collaboration allows that to happen, and with that, we're concluding. We're saying building a transformative business network with West African countries is not just about connecting business, it's about creating a platform for collaboration and innovation. By fostering partnership, sharing knowledge, and embracing inclusivity, such a network can unlock new opportunities, drive economic development, and transform the business landscape in Nigeria and beyond. I hope you consider doing business in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So now that we've learned about investing, building transformation business, Professor Nobla Oshisu will call on you to tell us the role of business network transformation in French and English-speaking countries. Thank you.
Can you clap for me? And everybody clap for me. I didn't see a clap. It's okay, it's well. I guess once again, you look wow. Wow. Tell someone next to you, you are very special today. Yes. Tell someone you look handsome, maybe she's already, you look beautiful. Yes. Let me introduce myself once again. My name is Professor Nobla. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, and I'm a psychologist. That's psychology and counseling. And I'm going to talk to you about the role of business network, because I believe that is the epicenter of all that you want to do, because the money is from investment. Are we together? If you don't invest, don't expect to get anything. Yeah, so we need to invest, we need to put money in business, so business can generate income. Okay, now, I'm going to speak about the role of networking. And you see, networking is about interacting and engaging yourself with people who are resourceful, who can be able to inject something in your life so you can be able to move on in this world. Because the resource within the people. When you interact with the people will tell you what to do, the people will show you the way, they will tell you how they have succeeded and how they have fulfilled their dreams through interaction. So interaction is very important, and when you engage with people, then there is a mutual benefit that you get from them. You are able to benefit from people in whatever they do. Of course, when you interact, you expect two things. One, you expect negativity, another thing, you expect positivity. But what you need to do, don't buy negativity, buy positivity, because that's what will make you move forward. And if you are facing, some challenges in your businesses, I think interaction and networking will help you to get advice on how to come out of those challenges. Because there are many people who have gone through challenges, and because they have succeeded, they can be good advisors to tell you that this is the way I went through this and I succeeded. So from there, they can give you a good advice for you to continue. Again, network can make you discover job opportunities. Okay? We are living in a world, in a global world, and sometimes you may not be able to know where you can find job opportunities. But when you interact with people will tell you, they will advise you, do this and that, and then you will succeed in your life. So job opportunities is one of the things that you need to look into as long as you are networking with people. Things like career, you can just network. and people can tell you on how to succeed on career life. And that will be very, very important. They will give you advice, and they will increase, they will increase your chances of being, recommended for positions because of interaction. Because you see now, like now if you want to get a job somewhere, you need to interact with people. You need to know people somewhere so they can connect you for you to get that job. You can't get it just anyhow. You must know what to do, how to follow it up. So when you are able to network, what will happen is that you are able to gain all that what you want, but it must be through opportunities. Get people who can connect you to where you can get certain jobs, and you'll be very, very well done. Then another thing, a strong professional network can also help you stay updated on what is happening in the latest industries. You cannot be able to know what is the latest industry if you don't network. You might think where you are comfortable, you know everything, but when you interact with you understand that you don't know many things. So interaction will make you, stay on the job, and also understand the latest, industries, developments. It can help you through networking. Another thing, networking will supply resources to the company growth. Okay? Like now, Kim was talking about the raw farm and all that. If they don't network and get clients, your company will not grow. So the company grows when you network, you get clients. Of course, you must get clients who are, stable. Of course, you get clients who are really very, very fertile, who can actually be able to inject something in your company, and then your company grows. So growth, so networking will bring growth in the company because that's where the resource is. And then there's what we call high quality. If you want high quality services, you must be able to connect with people who can offer high quality services. Business network may provide also recruitment leads. You are able to get some recruitment leads through networking. I don't want to go into all the details because I want to spend not much time. So then, business network also consists of directly or indirectly. Okay? And business network also can bring about referrals. Okay? When you do a job, like you see, Okelo was telling me about Angola, the farm. She's very straight over lawyer. Lawyers, most lawyers, I'm not saying all lawyers, most lawyers, they go to university to learn how they can cheat people. Okay? Yeah, many lawyers. I've been many lawyers, right? Yeah. But there are also lawyers who are transparent and who are very honest and do a credible job. But some of them, what they do is they learn how to cheat and make money, drive big cars, and all those kind of things. Mola, I'm not talking about you, I'm saying so you need to understand. So you can be able to, to network indirectly or indirectly. Connected companies where social and economic ties can make you understand these connections. Okay? Now, I want to speak about also the benefits of business network. One of the benefits of business network is, generational rewards. Yes, generational rewards, and that is that's what will make you actually your business go up, increase for that matter. Secondly, is what we call opportunities. Of course, opportunities that can, you get new opportunities. Okay, today, if you get an opportunity today, it doesn't mean you'll get the same opportunity. You can get another opportunity which is different, but it can bring increase in the business industry. Then, another point is connections. Yes, connections. Even in marriage, it's connection. Yes. And if you are not married here, you can get connected to me. And I'll be a rival. I'll invite you to people I know. When they marry you, you won't be troubled, they won't disturb you, you live happily, and bring up children in a better way. Of course. Sawa. So, I've talked about connection. Connection is not only in business, connection is in every area. Okay? That is it. You see now, Okela has connected me to Mula. If I didn't come here, I would have not known Mula and Jared, no problem. Okay? But because of this connection, through my younger brother here, Simon, I've been able to know about that. Then another thing is advice. Yeah, yes. You see, you need advice from people. Like today, I go once when I talk about divorce, they want to go out somewhere and ask somebody, now my wife is troubling me, my husband is troubling me. How do I get, what do we quit? Do we leave each other? Then you get advice which is good. Of course, some can give you negative, there are many women who are living on their own and they're succeeding. You know, you can be told many things, but it's good to buy an advice that is positive, which is going to help you. Okay, then another thing is raising your people. Raising your people. Because when you raise your people will help you to make the industry of your business go up, because now you have raised them in the right way. So another thing is positive influence, of course, to the business, aspect. You'll find that you'll be able to get positive influence in the company. People can influence you negatively, and they can influence you positively. But I will tell you that just buy the positive influence, which is very, very, very key. The another point is increased confidence. Okay? You see, when you have confidence, let me tell you, even if you don't know much, you can win a business. Hello? Are we together? Yes, you can win a business. You can go and begin a business and win it. Even if you don't know, you are not informed so much, but your confidence can make people trust you and know that you are doing the right thing. So it's better so that when you are doing business network, will increase your confidence. And then another thing is satisfaction from helping others. You get satisfied from helping others. You know, like I feel satisfied when I help people. People help people. People come to me, they tell me my house is closed, I pay for them, rent. Others, they come, they tell me they don't have food in the house, I give them money. I feel satisfied because I'm helping them. Okay? And you feel like you need to continue doing that, so it becomes very good. Then, another point is what we call friendship. Friendship is very key. Let me tell you, it is very easy to make friendship, but it's very difficult to maintain friendship. That's the point. Yeah, very easy. Come on, Sasa. If I want to make you my friend from Nigeria, I'll make you, but to maintain that friendship, to have continuity, to continue, then it is very hard. So I'll ask you to start our friendship and maintain friendship. There's a time that you need help from someone, but because of your relationship with that kind of a person, you will find that person will help you. Okay? People help you because of relationship, not because you are in need. There are many people who are in need, but they are not helped. Are we together? So if I have a relationship with you, if I have a relationship with people, they will support my business, they will make my business go up, because the relationship, it is built. Are we together? And relationship is trust. Okay? Without trust, no relationship. So trust must be the key thing to that point. And then, we'll speak a few things, and then I'll just close. Then we will continue. Another thing is that network will make you go to places where you're never gone. Okay? Like I was told to go to Comoros. It's network. Okay? You come into Nigeria, Abuja, or Lagos, or those places. Okay? I will come there because of my network and you. Yes, of course. And then network can make you go to South Africa, you can go to Australia, go to Togo, like the place you are there on this thing is here. So network is very key. You can never succeed without network, and you can't fight alone. You need people to fight with them. Are we together? You need people, and let me tell you what people want. Let me tell you, it is not where you are. It is who you are. Are we together? You know, today I can be here where I am, maybe in business. But what will determine is the result that I will get. Result. People are so much interested with the result. People will announce you because of the result. Not because you dress well, not because you are in a big position. No. It is about who you are. Results that you bring on the table. That is what people need. Are we together? Even if you are a husband of a family and you are not providing, your wife will, even if you look so handsome, people don't eat handsome, they eat things that bring the table. Are we together? So Always work for results. Okay? Yeah. Whether you are poor or you can still transform things. You can transform lives of other people. You can go from B to A. Let me tell you. As long as you are connected, you have a good network, you can go up. Are we together? And I want to tell you something. Don't work with foolish people. Because foolish people will not give you a proper network. They will give you foolishness. Yes. And work with the friends. With the friends who, work with balcony friends. Balcony, you know balcony friends over there? But nani job balcony kwa nyumba. Just yes, people. You are good, you know this. Balcony friends are friends who they are up. But if you work with friends who are on basement, they will bring you down. I'm telling you. Even if you are very high there, they will bring you down. Yeah. You know, people who are stupid can let also be stupid, even if you are clever. Am I speaking? Yes, they can make you stupid. Why? Because you have just accepted them to control you, to tell you some stuff which you know are not real. And let me tell you, what comes inside you is what divides you. Are we together? Now let me tell you this. The ship does not sink because it is surrounded by water. The ship does not sink because it's surrounded by water. The ship sinks because of the water that gets into it. Oh my God. The ship sinks because the water has entered inside the ship. Okay? So what enters inside you is what weighs you down.
Yes. Yes.
You have not heard what I'm saying. You have not heard. Yes. So don't allow some people to put some garbages in your mind that will make you not to go where you want to go to. Okay? Walk with the wise people. Okay? People who have succeeded, people who have something they can add value to your life. And that's the okay. So with all that, I know I can speak for a long time. But because of time and the Lord, I'm seeing Shalom, she's looking at me without a question. Let me stop here. Thank you very much.
So if you're the smartest person in a room, get out. Don't be the smartest person in a room. Okay, so thank you so much for those nuggets. As you welcome our CEO for Aguro Group, Mr. Karius Okegwe. Tell us about building a united Africa. After all this, now you cap it up and tell us about building it.
I'm not going to introduce myself because I've already been introduced. Yeah, so my name is Carlos Okegwe. Let me ask, how many entrepreneurs are in this room? If you founded anything, you're a founder. Yes. How many are from Eastern Africa? Eastern, the Comoros is part of Eastern Africa. For your information, there's a difference between East Africa and Eastern Africa. Seychelles is in Eastern Africa. Madagascar is in Eastern Africa. Kenya is a country, is an East African country in eastern part of Africa. Cape Verde is a West African country in western part of Africa. Now you know. How many from West Africa? How many from West Africa? West Nigeria, what we call the Ghana. Okay, how many are from the southern part of Africa? Zimbabwe and all that. We don't have that kind of such kind of people here. All right. In order to do justice to my presentation, rather to stick to the theme of today, it is important to ask some questions which I think are topical and relevant to this forum. It is important to ask why is it that in the 19th century we had people who could trade goods from Kano in the northern part of Nigeria up to the Morocco or Egypt in the northern part. We are talking about 18th century. That means at that particular moment, English probably was not introduced at that time, because that is in the pre-colonial era. It is important to ask how are they doing it with a little or no technology at the time, with a little education which they had. How are they doing it at that particular time? It is important to ask why is it that in the 21st century of today you cannot do that. It's rare to see someone trading from Kulu in Uganda, crossing into the central part of Africa, going maybe through Congo, going through up to Egypt or even the part of Sudan. Why is it that with the technology that we have today, that one is not applicable, and rarely do people do that? It is important also to ask, why is the language that has been brought to us, and I say this intentionally, brought to us, because before English and French, before Portuguese, there were languages in Africa. One of the writers that I really like is called Ngugi wa Thiong'o. He says that all languages are born equal. There is no language which is superior to the other. Why is it that in China, for example, you don't have to speak English for you to become a doctor? You don't have to speak English for you to become a lawyer. But in Kenya, if you can't speak English, forget about medicine. If you can't speak English, forget about being a lawyer. For us to see you as educated, you must be speaking in English. But if you speak in Kiswahili or Igbo or Dulu or Kikuyu or Kamba, then you're being considered uneducated. Does it mean that the languages that were imported to us are more superior than our own homegrown local languages, while Mandarin, which is being spoken by the Chinese, you can speak it and actually still be able to do anything from engineering and or any other thing which you want? In my opinion, I feel that our country has been, or rather Africans in general, we suffer from what I may call low language self-esteem, in the sense that we may feel that other languages or other races in terms of languages are more superior than what we have here. So that takes us back to what I call aboriginal traders. These guys who used to do the transatlantic caravans, where you are from Kano in Nigeria, where the only language you can speak is Hausa, but you are able to do a transaction or do a deal with someone who speaks Arabic language in Egypt. Today, more countries, or rather more companies from Chinese have their biggest market share from Africa. But it will alarm you that the owner of Huawei in China, which is a Chinese technology company, despite making millions of dollars from the Kenyan market, has never stepped foot in Kenya. For your information, he doesn't speak even a single English word. Same to the owners of Samsung, same to the owners of Hyundai. Yet they have got businesses in African countries. Why can't entrepreneurs in Africa also do the same? Where you can have a business, you can found a business in Uganda. The same business is operating in Ivory Coast. You don't speak any French language, or you don't speak any other African language local in those countries, but your business is able to operate and thrive in those areas. Could it be that this the Westerners or the Europeans are much superior to Africans when it comes to trading bilingually in other countries as compared to us as Africans? I don't think so. Because history has demonstrated time and time again that if you set your mind to do something, whether it is in business, whether it is in medicine, whatever the profession that you are involved in, as long as you are able to traverse the boundaries that have been created around you, you are able to succeed and move into and to globalize or pan-Africanize your business. Today, I've seen situations where there is a lot of limitations. Today, people are talking about African Free Continental Trade Area, where there is no limitation in terms of the borders that you are, that if you are in Kenya, you can only trade within Kenya, but you cannot trade within other African countries, in the sense that if you've got a product that you're producing, that product cannot be bought by a Nigerian because you are operating or that product in Ghana. We see a situation, or rather we want to see a situation where you're producing, or you're a real estate developer like me, but your buyers are from Uganda, your buyers are from Nigeria, your buyers are from Cameroon, yet whatever you are doing is in Kenya. They don't see the hindrance. I do not see why people should limit themselves in terms of language, because these languages you're talking about, they're not even African languages. Today, there's some Africans, like for example the Comoros, who I believe right now are being called, they're into a compartment which is known as the Francophones. But I believe if you go to Comoros or if you go to Ivory Coast, there's a very small percentage that speak French. So why do you refer to them as Francophones? That today there's some countries that are being graded or called Anglophones, where Kenya is one of them. But if you go to those countries, especially here in Kenya, there's only a small minority that speaks English. And those who don't do it are being considered uneducated. That is an African called Lusophone. That if you go there, those people are supposed to be speaking Portuguese. But if you go to a place like Angola, it's only the minority who can speak the Portuguese language. So until we break these compartments that were created by the colonial powers, and be able to push our limits and not see, or rather grade ourselves based on those so-called international languages, and be able to be proud of who we are. That I can speak Igbo and not any other language, and do business with Igbo and still be able to build a Pan-African business. That I can speak the Luo and still be able to make an achievement out of that language.
She then says that all the people that have mines in their country are countries outside of Burkina Faso, and that Burkina Faso doesn't have one mine in their country. And so the question is, and I'm sure it's very similar in many African countries, how can we reverse that where now we can have investments in our own mines throughout Africa? Is it an IPO? Is it a Bitcoin? What could we develop that would make it where we can invest in our own land?
Okay. Was talking about is relevant not just the Burkina Faso only, but also even to the Congolese as well. And what she's referring to are their mines, yes, but those mines are not owned by Africans, neither are they owned by the Burkina Faso. They are owned by so-called multinationals from European countries. So, and it is something we just started a long time ago. It's not a recent thing. Very recently, I watched a documentary where some entrepreneur who is in the mining business from Israel collided, or rather colluded with the president's wife, an ex-president's wife of Guinea, and bought out a very large, one of the largest deposits of iron ore in Guinea, western part of Africa. I'm not really sure a Nigerian or a Kenyan or a Ghanaian. I'm talking about an Israeli person who's come from Israel to buy the mining rights. So technically now that land is not owned by Africans, it's owned by an Israeli. So one of the excuses that is being brought, rather we hear when some kind of debates arise, you will be told that Africans do not have the capacity to develop those mines. That is why people have come from outside to develop them. So it will ask you, when you talk about capacity, what exactly do you mean? Because in this current century that we live in, when you talk about technical capacity, we Africans are limited. So it's not about the technicalities. When we talk about capital raising is a global challenge. Just the way Israel is going to go through the challenges of raising capital, the same way that Africa is going to go through to be able to go through mobilize enough capital and be able to develop. So I would say that partly it's a way where regulatory environment, rather the African governments are failing their citizens, where they do not control. In my opinion, is that we should be having, in some kind of things, we should be having the laws and frameworks that allows the Africans or rather to be given the first opportunities to explore. There's something in Kenya which I get confronted with almost on a daily basis, and the right skin or European. So if you work, then you talk about an investor, then really look at work, because when you talk about investor, you talk about someone from the US, someone from the UK that's been an investor. So there's also an element of racialism that is innate. And those are the things that when we come into forums like this, we need to confront. We need to see ourselves just like any other person. An investor is not someone in the right scheme. An investor is someone with funds to invest. And this way you can make a break, you can make a variety, you can be, from Asian countries. So unfortunately, still really, should I say, unless we have a change in DNA, we see ourselves as the same as like any other. That is when such kind of things can actually change. But if we see ourselves that there are things that are made for us and not made for us, unfortunately we still continue.
So I was asking, what is our solution?
The solution, that's what I'm saying. We have to look at ourselves just like any other. Because we can independent. How many mining engineers do we have again? That's so many. And they don't have those. Yet our mining resources are being auctioned off to the African countries. But you take it back and say, we can't do this ability because you don't have the capacity to operate it. Let me go as far as giving an example of the kind of business I'm involved in. I'm going to real estate development. So the real estate development, we're not going to a lot of people who are going to develop. You say you are an investor, no one is going to take you seriously. But if you go to one meeting, the Chinese, whether that Chinese will not have money or not, the other ones are okay here. I agree with you. That's an investment you can do. So until we as African entrepreneurs have a change in mindset, a change in our DNA, that's when we will be able to see ourselves as the same as others. What this America can come and do in those islands and all things is a great something that the Congolese can do when we get the same kind of opportunity. So I'm talking about the regulatory framework has to change, and also the government policy has to be a government policy that first of all favors its local citizens. If you look at the very first it's a government thing, and to be able to change the laws that give opportunities to our give priorities to our people first, because we live in a place where very well the most educated people in those countries, the best parents in Wall Street, for example, Nigerians, the best cycling friend will agree with me in America, and Nigerians. These are not Americans, not Americans. So I'm telling you, keep those. So I'm imagine if we had those kind of things operating in Africa, we would go very far, miles away. So the bottom line is that we need an opportunity, or we need priorities to be given to the inhabitants of those countries first before we say yes to other countries.
But maybe I can add on that.
Miles away. So the bottom line is that we need an opportunity, or we need priorities to be given to the inhabitants of those countries first before we say yes to other countries.
But maybe I can add on that,
Investor is associated with a white skin or a European. So if you're black, then you talk about I'm an investor, then nobody say, really? You don't look like one, because when we talk of investor, we're talking about someone from the US, someone from the UK, that's maybe an investor. So there's also an element of racialism that is in it. And those are the things that we're
that, we need to have some exchange programs. Exchange programs. Exchange programs, because there is what maybe people from the other side can be the best than us, because what happens is that it depends with the training. It depends how people are trained in Kenya and the people in the outside country or the foreign countries. So when we have exchange programs, we have to learn something different from the other side, and the other people, when they come here, they learn something different. Another problem we have in this country is corruption. Yeah, as much as we have mining engineers and all this, you'll find that everything is just corrupted. So even if they are good in doing the job, but because of that mentality about corruption, so things cannot be done. That's right. Thank you.
Just to add on to that, I would say, when you walk around and you interact with people in forums like this, one thing that you realize is that there's actually a lot of money in the world. Money, people who are looking for, what do I do with this money? And they're looking for opportunities, right? So the same opportunities that we're talking about. But I think I do projects a lot, and I sometimes connect investors with project owners. But I think the biggest problem that I have encountered as far as local entrepreneurs are concerned is that you will identify the opportunity. For example, you will say, I have a housing project, all right? And you're looking for an investor to come into it, either in equity, either in debt, or in whatever form. But then when you identify an investor for this project, then I come to you and say, okay, give me the feasibility study. You say you don't have. Give me just something simple, like, okay, so what are your numbers looking like? Show me your financial model. You don't have, right? So I think most of the times why an investor looking to put money into your own project will not be able to do that is because you as the project owner hasn't done anything to prepare yourself for investment. All right. So I would say opportunities are there. We have brilliant minds in Africa. We have people who have identified opportunities, but very few people are preparing themselves for investment. So I think even us as Africans, as much as we have all these avenues, we have all these opportunities to sort of spearhead something that we have identified, we also need to invest in it to make it ready for for takeoff, which I think is one of the biggest problems that I've seen with indigenous identified opportunities. here in Kenya and even outside in other African countries.
I just want to add to what Kalas have said. Based on your question, it boils down to government policy. You know, whatever the government decides to do, it's what it's done. And just like you said, the biggest solution is to review some of the policies. You know, in Nigeria we have a couple of mining locations, most especially bitumen, uranium, gold, and iron ore. There was a time that it was awarded to a Russian company, and Nigerians protest that yeah, Russians are good, but they are Nigerians that can do it better, you know. And one of these reasons is well to closing down so many refineries, because Nigerians protested that there are people that went to school to study petrochemical engineering. And why we should bring in white in the name of a foreigner to work in a place. So we rather close down this place than to see the white works in those places. So for we Nigeria, okay, before I conclude on that, there was few days ago it was discovered that a Chinese supermarket does not allow Nigerians to shop in that place. So people thought it was a joke. Then there are so many people turned up for social media. It was discovered that it is true, and so far there is no reason why that happened. Why you have a shopping like a supermarket in Nigeria and you don't allow Nigerians to buy, you know? So as of yesterday it was shut down for further explanation. So I don't know how other Africans deal with their policy. But we've been able to make use of our social media platform to fight some of these irregularities when it comes to having foreigners take over the job of locals. And that's why I keep saying that the foreigners that you find most in Nigerians, when I mean foreigners, what we African assume as foreigners, Lebanese, old Lebanese and old Indians. But there is no comfortable environment for probably Europeans. Why I say no comfortable environment is that we give them a run for their work. Like, what you can do, you can do it. So what's the point of you doing what I can do and I want to pay you extra? So that's just it. I think it's government policy.
So do we petition the government here? Do we petition and we say we want laws to be changed?
Okay, for us as Nigerians, we've been doing social petition, which is social media petitioning, and democratically, Kenya has been doing great too when it comes to that. And some area of work works, but we know very well that this thing is boiled down to a far agreement that is what this government called classified agreement. So it will take years rather, to change some of these things. But with internet, I believe when people see some of these things happening and they talk about it, there will be a change or review in some of these policies.
Okay, thank you so much. So now, a lot of insights, a lot of nuggets. So any other question?
Thank you so much for your great presentations. I think mine is just an addition. What I've seen is that we need to decolonize our mindsets when it comes to our education, when it comes to the way we do business, when it comes to the way we relate with ourselves, each other, because we have the capacity. We've seen that we have the capacity, and it is us to change that narrative, because we'll not say that a government directive or policy can change something that was developed a few centuries ago. So it starts with us. The education system has to be included so that it gives us, the confidence
the power to do things our own way. When we talk about what happened in West Africa, we're talking about Chad, when we're talking about Burkina Faso, we talked about Niger. They came together and they're now doing business amongst themselves because they're trying to also break that French chainery that was developed. So for me, I think this is the platform to ensure that such communication, such conversations are built up so that we can be able to now forge ahead from this platform. So I think this is a platform to now come up with solutions and not to try to now say, oh, we blame these people, it is because of this and this and that. So I think that's all I have. Thank you.
I have two questions. My first question will go to Mr. Obina. You spoke about the challenges that... Okay. You spoke about the challenges that the West Africans face in terms of business, you know? The issues that are facing the West Africans. So, if I want to invest in West Africa, particularly in Nigeria, there's the issue of monopolization, especially on the, for example, on the retail space. ShopRite has a monopoly in the market, right? Okay. And then there's another business risk that is security is also a challenge. So what is the government doing to mitigate those risks? Yeah. And then I got to my second one, or you answer that first, because the second question goes to our good professor. In terms of, okay, Amadou has spoken about having opportunities, but the biggest problem is, yes, there are opportunities there, yeah? The biggest problem, I think, that is facing Africa, not only Kenya, because we've actually experienced it here in Kenya, is corruption there, or the professor has said. So there are opportunities there, but it has reached a point whereby you even have to pay to get a job. So when you talk about corruption, many people have this mentality that corruption, when somebody mentions about corruption, it's all about the government. But no, corruption starts with us, you and me. So at this lower level, what can we do to change that?
Right, let me answer your question, or your question rather. There is an extent for me to speak for the government. Yeah, I'm not the government official. But I proudly Nigerian and also proudly African. I'll say, for those who have been to Nigeria before, if there is anybody that has been to Nigeria before, you understand that in Nigeria, your identity is not being asked. As long as you're an African, or you're asking, or you are just an African, your identity is not being asked. Who are you and who not are you? Business environment, all you need to do, just like I said, is collaboration. So when it comes to the insecurity challenge, this is something that has been there, which is being politicized. And we know every government comes in, or should I say every administration comes in, having something to campaign for. If there is no poverty, if there is no lack of infrastructure, if there is no insecurity, if there is no that, what is the base of their campaign? And this is spreading across Africa, where there is a man-made problem, so that they can be able to speak about it during campaign period and the rest. But what's the security in Nigeria is being amplified by social media also. The reason why I say so is that the way we see things on social media is even from how it is down there. I have a couple of people that have gone to do business, mostly in Lagos, Abuja, which is basically where you can do business and make your money. Where you see security, I'm not going to say their business is significant, but we all know that in every African country, where the security dwells are places where there are less business return. For instance, in Kenya, Lamu, I believe, not every business have their presence there. But here in Nairobi, day in, day out, everybody's fine. So investing in Nigeria, you basically look at few places. To start with, like Lagos, Abuja, we go to Kano, Enugu, Anambra. Those are places where you are sure of your business giving return, because the reason why you're going to leave your comfortable zone to go out here is because you expect a return. And if you are not an NGO that works for UN directly or work for private military, I don't see why you want to go to crisis-prone locations. So you look at the best place, which are one, the capital city. The capital city is always well guarded. There is always assured of maximum security. Then you look at the business capital district. You know, I think almost every African country has such. Like Kenya, we have Nairobi and Mombasa. So doing business in Nigeria, in respect of the insecurity you read about or you see on social media, it has its own specific environment, and those are what, as in Nigeria, I would say those are man-made because these are something that can be stopped. But if you stop it, how will you get those aid from you? And if you didn't get, how will you get WHO aid, and how will you campaign for the next elections? So, but doing business in Nigeria is safe, that I can guarantee, because there are still over 150 million people here. Thank you.
I think before another question, I want to say that, you know, you don't need to get a job through corruption. You can get a job without corruption. That is very possible, and it has happened. So let us remove the mentality that we must get a job when you corrupt. Because there's God who is there who can fight for you and make a way for you to get a job. As long as you have the right credentials, and as long as you follow the right channel, and as long as you are patient. Because the problem with human beings, we are not patient. And let me tell you, best things come to those who are patient. Yeah, but when you are not patient, sometimes you will not be able to see, you know, the good part of a thing. So let us not believe that we can get jobs or opportunities through corruption. That's number one. Number two, corruption starts with us. We the common man. Because when you go to a place, you want maybe a job or you want something done, you want to give money even before you're not asked. It's a true thing. I'm telling you. Yeah, you want to say, well, if I hear Araka, do for me, I'll give you something. So you already becomes a corrupter. You are corrupting. So if I need to some people who are very genuine, but you are not genuine. Now you see, because people are lovers of money, they will say, yes, but you see, those kind of things. So let us be very, very genuine. Let us not accept to start corruption ourselves. Yeah, let us say no to corruption completely. Have you ever seen where they say, this is a son of no corruption? You have seen working. But corruption goes on. That is just a right thing. Okay? And the people are the ones who are doing corruption. So we can say no to corruption, and we can really trust our Creator to give us whatever we want. Thank you.
I just have one last question to Mr. Obina, sorry. And what are the policies or the mechanisms that the government is putting in place to ensure that there is a fair environment for all the players, because, as I said before, if an international retail store can have monopoly in that market environment, so if I want to get into that environment, how is the government protecting me as a retailer, or how is it cushioning me as a retailer?
All right, thank you. Like I said, there are other small retail shops, but ShopRite happens to be the biggest, like big. You know, there are big malls here. When I mean big malls, you have Carrefour big, Quickmart big, Naivas big, right? But we don't have that. The thing there is this. This is a normal pandemic for every African to know that politicians are kind of corrupt. There is always kickback, there is always bottoming kind of a thing. Those are something that is, I don't know if I would say it's beyond us as citizens, but this is a policy that has been there. It's not in the law, but you know how it's always there to frustrate a newcomer. I will use Dangote for instance, and most Nigerians believe these things, that Dangote is not the richest man in Nigeria, but African believe he's the richest man in Africa. Back then, there were a couple of businesses that started shoulder to shoulder with Dangote. I mean, the cement, the sugar, the flour, and every other thing. All over time, being a friend of politicians, they had to find a way to stop other companies from producing what he is producing to give him monopoly of production. That has nothing to do with laws. That has something to do with politicians. You understand? So MTN coming in, it took a lot of fights for Globacom to stay. It took a lot of fight for Etisalat to stay and Airtel. MTN was supposed to be so opposite, just like MultiChoice. MultiChoice is the only TV in Nigeria. I don't know if there is other cable channel competing, because GoTV is also owned by MultiChoice. Alright? So, only cable channel, and I think that's almost all Africa, only cable channel that we have, minus YouTube right now, that give them run for their content. Only cable channel that almost every Africa have is from MultiChoice. So these are policies that are being closed for certain people because certain politicians have certain interest or investment. So this is not just a Nigerian thing. It's never going to be, it's never a written law, but it's always there. How do you come into that kind of space to do business? They expect you to do your business without trying to compete. That is the only way you can. Come in, open your convenience store, do what you need to do, but don't start giving yourself the hype that you want to be as big or as strong as ShopRite. That is where you get yourself in trouble. I don't know if I've answered that.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, sorry. Bonsoir tout le monde. I have two questions, and my first question will go to Mademoiselle Moulamboulou, and Madame, sorry. And my second question will go to Mr. Obina from Nigeria. I will start with the first one. The first one, as I got the chance and opportunity to be here and face to face with you as a lawyer, so I would like to know, because how can I handle cases like being conned with a big company like Safaricom as a foreigner? Let us say I came to Kenya to study here. So when I came, so the first day I went to a Safaricom shop and purchased a line, SIM card, and my family just sent me money through my M-Pesa, because nowadays this transaction is existing. Yeah, using transaction M-Pesa and send, let us say, 40K directly. And Safaricom blocked that money, and after the second day, the money disappeared, let us say. The money is not there. And when you go to Safaricom, they say we are working on it. And till that day, that sister never get that money until today. So some was advising she go to the police station, and while she has been told since she was in Comoros, like one of the con people is the police of Kenya. Yeah. They will try to bring you and put you in a situation where you will just spend money. And some others say you have to go to see a lawyer, take a lawyer, and why if you compare 40,000, and will you be able to pay a lawyer to fight for you because of 40K? So I want to know from you, my question actually, I need advice and orientation from you, how a foreigner can handle a case like that, being owned by a big company like Safaricom like that. So, the second question, before you proceed, go to my brother here. As I believe you're a business developer and sales manager, you can advise also. Like I'm an engineer, I've done electrical engineering and electronics and security system. As I know, Nigeria has the largest population. I believe that there is some cases and insecurity in Nigeria. So let's say I decided to go to Nigeria, open a small company of security system to be able to make money and while helping the country also for the insecurity. So how should I start? So from your experience and from your advice, how should I start? What is the main point or main things that I have as a foreigner I should have, and to be able to invest in a small company of security company in Nigeria? Thank you. So that's the question.
All right, so I'm not sure I can give you, adequate